example, were always played off the disc. They were never copied over to the hard drive. So we're just waiting here, and hopefully this is actually going to install for us. Final Fantasy VII setup. Okay, this is looking promising. So far, it's working without me having to adjust any settings. Hey, the setup program. So we'll just go through this. Now, what do I want to install? I don't want to install DirectX 5 drivers. I have no idea if we've got DirectX Show or not, or Direct Show. So we'll just go ahead and select that. And we'll go for maximum install, which will require 460 megabytes of space. Although, if we're going to find a way of doing this without a disk later on in the drive, then we're going to have to copy the movies across. It says available space 2 gigabytes, but that's just not true. I've got about 140 gigabytes free on this solid state drive that the game's going to install to. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and accept. And wow, this is old school. I actually remember this. It's been so many years since I've installed this edition of Final Fantasy VII. The playthrough that I did on my channel back in 2012 was the 2012 version of the game, which installed obviously completely different to this. So it's got to be 15 years, I reckon, since I last saw this screen. But I'm remembering it now that I'm looking at it, and the nostalgia's coming back to me. So everything's going to install off this one disc. I won't have to swap discs during this process. And then when we want to play the game, we'll have to pop disc 1 in. So I'll skip ahead at this point. And we get a readme file here. So system requirements, Pentium 133 is absolutely required with a 3D accelerator card with 4 megabytes of video memory or greater. My goodness, doesn't technology improve very, very quickly? So hopefully my GTX 1080 Ti with its 11,000 megabytes of video memory will be sufficient. And I'm running Windows 10, so I'm not running Windows 95 or any form of Windows 95 emulator. So this is why I'm really just hopefully going to be able to get into the game first time here, but we'll see what happens. Oh, we need to restart Windows, do we? It's been a while since I've had to do that after installing a game. So I've just restarted the computer, went to load the game, and the first thing that happens is the configuration. Graphics, we are going to be running at the highest possible settings, which is 640 by 480, 16-bit palette, with pass on everything except 8-bit paletted textures for some strange reason. That has a fail. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the actual game itself. We'll have to wait and see if it even works at all. So we'll go ahead and just keep the settings as they are, not that we have much choice. And sound, we will just be using the default sound. Seems to be working, which is good. And we get to hear the fantastic PC music, which was absolutely atrocious. I was being sarcastic there. So this was 100 times worse even than what the PlayStation edition got the year before. And that's because for some reason, I've no idea why they did this, Square decided to replace the original PlayStation music with MIDI versions of those files. Whether that was to do with saving space on the discs, I have no idea. Well, so far so good. Oh my goodness, those FMVs are pixelated. But hey, I'm not actually getting any response here. Okay, X doesn't seem to do anything. Okay, now it's... I think I've got it there. Okay, so the controls are not the same as the 2012 and Steam releases of Final Fantasy VII. You have to actually use the controls of the numpad. So the WASD keys not working, the normal arrow keys on the keyboard don't do anything, but the arrow keys on the numpad are what's giving me access to the pointer, to the cursor here, and I have to actually select the small enter key on the numpad in order to actually activate or select anything. So Final Fantasy VII, the 1998 version, is controlled with the numpad on the keyboard. So if you don't have a numpad, then you're pretty screwed, it's got to be said. And yes, this looks atrocious, and the reason for that, I'm not sure why this was. I'm guessing again something to do with space saving. The PlayStation movies were compressed down horribly for the 1998 release on PC, which is why you have all of this noise here on